going, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Madison Hill, and yes, it's time for another Pop Off with Madison. For today's Pop Off, I'm talking about Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, and Kanye West because, you guys, there have been some major developments, and I don't know what the heck is going on. First of all, when it comes to Kim and Pete, I no longer think that these two are just together for some PR. And I think this because, number one, Pete Davidson just recently dodged a question about Kim Kardashian during his most recent interview, and two, we also have this new report from the New York Post where a source is sharing that Kim Kardashian's friends are on board with her and Pete. Meanwhile, according to this new report, Kanye West is not pleased, which I have to admit is kind of funny because Kanye West is once again striking up dating rumors with him and another model, which is confusing AF because just a few days before those dating rumors, Kanye West was on a podcast still calling Kim Kardashian his wife and saying that he has never seen any divorce papers. You guys, there's just a lot happening and I need to talk to you about it. I also can't wait to hear your opinions on all of this. So let's not waste any more time and get straight to unwrapping these Kim, Pete, and Kanye facts. Alright, so as you all know by now, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson have been hanging out a lot lately. They had a night at Knott's Berry Farm where they were seen holding hands, and then they had dinner together not once, but twice while Kim Kardashian was in New York. After these multiple hangouts, we heard from sources close to Kim Kardashian, and they were saying that Kim and Pete were just keeping things friendly, but they also mentioned that Kim liked Pete Davidson and found him intriguing. But now it sounds like things between Kim and Pete are heating up more than I ever thought they would. So first up, we have this new report from the New York Post where a source made it clear that Kim and Pete are not, quote, a showmance, aka they're not doing this for the Kardashians' new Hulu show, and the source also mentioned that they're not doing this for publicity. In fact, this insider specifically said, quote, "This is not a stunt. Kim doesn't need to do that. That's not her style. There's plenty of other things she could do to get attention." The source then went on to give a little more insight into Kim and Pete's status, saying that it's super early, but that there's definitely interest from both sides, and as of now, the source says that it's hard to put a label on whatever it is. Regardless of that label though, this insider says that all of Kim's friends are supporting this and quote, "I know that her friends think the world of Pete. They think he's funny and charming, and she's definitely at a point where she's ready to get out there and to see people." The source then went on to end their insider info saying that there's some relief now that Kim has quote, "torn the band-aid off and started dating," followed by quote, "I think a lot of us are like, what the but you know, she's happy." Now, I will say one thing I'm sure Kim, and let's be honest, Mama Chris is happy about is that Pete Davidson is actually keeping his mouth shut when it comes to his hangouts with Kim Kardashian, something that we know he wasn't always so good at previously. If you remember when he was with Ariana Grande, he could not stop talking about their relationship. However, Pete Davidson has definitely learned his lesson now that he's dated a couple A-list ladies. During his most recent interview on Late Night with Seth Meyers tried to get him to admit that he's seeing Kim Kardashian. In fact, Seth Meyers said, quote, "I want to address something. I feel like I want to confirm if it's real. This is something you've been reading a lot about in the press." Pete then played along saying, quote, "I've been wanting to talk about this, but there's a lot of people I walk by. People are like whispering and making eyes at me, but it's true." And then Pete hit everyone at the punchline saying, quote, "I do have a show on Tubi coming out." Now he's referring to his new animated show called Freak Brothers, but still, you get the picture. Pete gave people just enough. Now, while Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian clearly seem happy with whatever they're doing, Kanye West, on the other hand, doesn't quite feel the same way. And we know this thanks to this new report from In Touch Weekly, where a source shared that Kanye West is, quote, "losing it over Kim and Pete." In fact, this In Touch Weekly source went on to say, quote, "He has a real problem with them being an item. It's typical of Kanye to have double standards. It's okay for him to date other women, but it's not okay for Kim to date Pete." This source then continued saying, quote, "Kanye has known Pete for years. They'd meet up for dinner or lunch when Pete was in LA, call each other, and that kind of thing. I'd say they were more acquaintances than good friends, but that doesn't stop Kanye from feeling stabbed in the back by Pete." Yikes! Say what you will about Kanye, but I definitely would not want to be on his bad side. And while that is some Kanye tea in and of itself, we also need to talk about Kanye West and those dating rumors that he's been striking up with another model. So recently, Kanye West, or Ye, as he has formally changed his name, had people giving him the side eye when he was spotted courtside with model Ventria. I may or may not be saying her name correctly. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. But anyway, they were spotted courtside at a Donda Academy basketball game, and since then, people have been questioning what's going on between the two. And thankfully, a source has cleared things up to page 6, and in fact, this source said that Kanye and this model have, quote, "been hooking up for a while now." Which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, makes absolutely zero sense to me because as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, just a few days before these dating rumors started with Kanye West, he was on the podcast drinking champs, calling Kim Kardashian his wife, saying that he hasn't seen any divorce papers, saying that this is all for press and that he doesn't like her publicist, that SNL made her make that joke about their divorce. So I'm just confused confused as to what the heck is going on. As you guys can see, my head is clearly spinning, and obviously I have a ton of thoughts about all of this, so we're definitely gonna go ahead and pop off, but I won't be drinking champs today because, full disclosure, Mama Hill and I finished our bottle of champs last night. So instead, I didn't even find Michelob Ultra, but I did find a Corona Light, so you know what? We're gonna do that instead. Hardest beer to open, apparently. One more sip because this is a lot. All right, so first of all, I need to tell you guys that I might be starting to see the light when it comes to Kim and Pete. I still don't totally love Pete Davidson, which I know a lot of you were not happy to hear me say in my last pop-off talking about him and Kim. A lot of you reminded me that personality is what counts and personality is what's most important. And you guys are obviously, of course, not wrong. I, of course, think personality is super, super important when it comes to dating someone and then ultimately being in a relationship with that person. But you just have to give me a little more time to fully come around to Pete Davidson. However, I will say it did make me feel a little bit better to hear that Kim's friends were also kind of saying WTF when she was first spotted out with Pete Davidson, but ultimately Kim is happy. Her friends see that, and that's what's most important. At the end of the day, as long as Kim Kardashian was somebody who treats her well, treats her kids well, and makes her happy, and really fulfills those things that she might not have been getting from her relationship and marriage with Kanye, then I think Pete Davidson is a good thing. I will say, after what that source had to say, I think it will be interesting to see where Kim and Pete go from here. I don't necessarily think that they have long-term relationship potential, but I do think they have hefty fling potential. I definitely think we're gonna see them hanging out more. I definitely think we're gonna see them go on dates, and probably Pete may or may not start coming around the family. Like, I definitely think we're going to see these two connected for a little bit longer. I just don't think that there's going to be a proposal, wedding, any of that in their future. Kim is a newly single woman. She's just getting her feet wet in the dating world. As much fun as this is with Pete Davidson, I don't see them together for the long haul. And the last thing I'm gonna say about Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, because this has just kind of been on my mind the past couple of days, does anyone else find it funny that after Kourtney Kardashian goes out and starts dating a skinny guy with a ton of tattoos, and now all of a sudden Kim Kardashian is talking to or being seen hanging out with somebody very similar to Travis Barker, when previously I feel like we would have never seen Kim Kardashian with a Pete Davidson type? I just find it funny that Kourtney has kind of set the new Kardashian type, if you will. And I would say we'll have to look out and see who Khloe dates next, but you all already know I have a theory that her and Tristan Thompson are still together behind closed doors. Now, as far as that report about Kanye West thinking that Pete Davidson is a backstabber and having that double standard, obviously I don't think that's fair. I'm honestly less perplexed about Kanye West calling Pete a backstabber and having a double standard, and more perplexed by the fact that just a few days before these dating rumors started in regards to him, he was still calling Kim Kardashian his wife on that podcast. Like, that is something I just cannot let go, and I also can just not wrap my mind around it. And this source saying that him and this model have been hooking up for a while now, like, what? Kanye, come on now. You guys know that I do tend to sympathize with Kanye. I don't know what it is. I know he says some really dumb things. I know he is often out of line, but I do tend to sympathize with him because of his mental health struggles. But in this instance, Kanye, you're making it really difficult for me. I just feel like Kanye cannot be flip-flopping like this. Like, we can't be calling Pete Davidson a backstabber one minute and then the next minute also be seen with a model and have sources say that you've been hooking up for a while. Like, we can't go back and forth. We've got to pick a side. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know if Kanye is in denial. I don't know if he's naive. I don't know if this is an act that he's just putting on for interviews. But regardless, I think he absolutely needs to come to terms with the fact that him and Kim are clearly done. Which I'll admit is a little sad. You guys know before Kim started stepping out with Pete, I did have a slight hope that her and Kanye would at some point reconcile. I felt like him going to her SNL show was kind of a sign that he was there to support her, that they might be working through things, but clearly they are both done with one another. They just want to be co-parents. They're ready to see other people, and at this point, I feel like we just have to keep an eye on Kim and Pete, and also whatever Kanye does next. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you when it comes to Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, and Kanye West. I want to hear all of your thoughts and feels down below. For more content, make sure you follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, and of course, don't forget to keep coming back to my channel to check out my YouTube shorts. You guys can also find all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.